The story begins in a world devastated by an unknown virus. Those infected didn't just turn into zombies, they became highly intelligent ones, and now almost the entire world has transformed. In a world collapsing to an outbreak, Abigail, her mother, and her brother flee their home. Their father, a pilot trapped abroad, is their only hope. So they begin a dangerous journey to reach him. But suddenly a zombie ambushes them, biting both Abigail's mother and her brother. Abigail immediately runs and hides under a car. Within minutes they both turn into zombies. Just as Abigail's mother is about to attack her, an officer named Cassius arrives and shoots Abigail's mother, killing her instantly. Then he tells her to close her eyes and cover her ears, before shooting her brother as well. 10 years pass. By now the world has completely collapsed. The human population is dangerously low, and zombies roam everywhere. We see Abigail and Cassius hunting in the forest. Cassius has spent years teaching her how to hunt, how to fight, and how to survive. The two of them keep moving from place to place, searching for somewhere anywhere that might be safe. But so far they haven't found a single spot untouched by zombies. At night they set up a tent in the forest. They hang bells on wires around the tent so they can hear if any zombies or wild animals approach. Cassius has a map, and with its help they are heading toward an island. Cassius believes that the island is safe and has enough resources for survival. One night, while they are sleeping, they hear the bells ringing, signaling that there has been a breach. Cassius immediately grabs his gun and goes outside. Suddenly a zombie attacks him, but he manages to shoot and kill it. At this point they realize there must be more zombies nearby, so they decide to move forward. A little further on, they see a car being attacked by some zombies. A man is shooting at the zombies trying to defend himself. Just then, they notice a zombie sneaking up behind the man to attack him. Seeing this, Abigail quickly starts shooting at the zombie. Cassius tells her not to rush, but ignoring Cassius' words, she shoots at the zombie. Unfortunately, the bullet hits the man instead. Seeing this, Cassius gets angry at Abigail. Then the two of them go and take the necessary supplies from the vehicle and start to leave. Just then, several vehicles arrive and armed men get out, pointing their guns at Cassius and Abigail. Cassius and Abigail also point their guns at them in return. At that moment, a pregnant woman named Megan steps out of a vehicle and says to them, "We are not here to hurt you, so please stay calm." Suddenly, hundreds of zombies arrive and begin attacking them. After a long struggle, Cassius, Abigail, Megan, and her husband David manage to escape in a vehicle. However, everyone else falls victim to the zombies and also turns into zombies themselves. Cassius kills the partner of the alpha zombie, which enrages the horde and causes them to start chasing the group more aggressively. In the car, Cassius asks them, "Where are you going?" Megan replies, "We are heading toward a colony in the northeast. We've made contact with people there through radio. The virus hasn't spread to that area yet. My delivery date is approaching, so we want to reach there as soon as possible." Just then, their car breaks down, so they are forced to continue their journey on foot. They reach an abandoned city ahead where there is no sign of anyone. They decide to spend the night there and take shelter in a building. There, Cassius shows Megan and David a map and says, "We're close to a safe island. We should head there." Hearing this, Megan and David insist on continuing to the northeast and ask them to come along. Abigail seems okay with this idea, but Cassius refuses to go with them because he believes there is no safe place in the northeast. However, later on, for Abigail's happiness, since Cassius considers her like a daughter, he agrees to go with them. The next morning, while they are preparing to leave the building, a zombie attacks Abigail. Abigail somehow manages to throw the zombie out of the building, then all of them leave the building and continue their journey. Meanwhile, we see the zombie horde, including the alpha, arriving at that building. At that moment, one of the zombies steps into a trap set by Cassius, triggering an explosion. Seeing this, the alpha zombie becomes even more furious. Meanwhile, the four of them continue moving forward. It will still take them 6 more days to reach the colony in the northeast. A little while later, Abigail says, "There's an airport nearby where my father used to work. If we go there, maybe we can get some help." But Cassius refuses to go, saying it's too risky and there's no guarantee of finding help there. However, Megan and David agree with Abigail, so they take a vote. With a 3-to-1 majority, they decide to head toward the airport. After a while, they arrive at the airport, but there is neither a single person nor even a plane in sight. Seeing this, Cassius becomes disappointed. Just then, Abigail notices a nearby hangar. She opens the door of the hangar to take a look, and fortunately, there is a plane inside. Seeing this, they all become very happy. However, the plane is not in working condition. David, being a mechanic, begins to repair it, and Megan stays with him. Meanwhile, Abigail and Cassius start checking the surrounding area. During this, Abigail reaches her father's cabin, where she finds family photos. Seeing them, she becomes emotional. At that moment, they notice that a large group of zombies is heading toward the plane. So the two of them run back to the plane and tell Megan and David to get inside quickly. The plane isn't fully repaired yet, but since the zombies are already close, they all board the plane and take off. They're overjoyed to have survived, but their happiness doesn't last long. Within a few hours, the plane's engine fails, causing it to crash. Fortunately, all of them survive unharmed. Cassius looks at the map and says, "From here, it will take us 2 more days to reach the colony. According to my estimate, the safe island is also close to the colony." Since it is already dark, they decide to rest for the night. We see Cassius and Megan talking. Cassius tells Megan everything about Abigail, how he had to kill her infected mother and brother, and then took Abigail in as his own. Cassius' own wife and son were also infected by the virus, and he had to shoot them both. Megan then asks Cassius to make a promise. "If anything happens to me and my husband, will you take care of our baby the way you took care of Abigail?" Cassius promises Megan that he will. Meanwhile, we see David sitting alone, crying. Here it is revealed that David has been bitten by a zombie and is already infected. However, he hasn't turned into a zombie yet, because in people with strong immune systems, the virus takes longer to show its effects. David tries to shoot himself, but his love for Megan stops him. No matter what, he wants to make sure she reaches a safe place. David doesn't tell anyone about being infected. The next morning, everyone continues their journey. David, however, struggles to walk, and his body is burning with fever. Cassius notices blood coming from David's leg. Realizing what this means, he understands that David is infected with the zombie virus. So he takes David aside at gunpoint and says, "You're infected. Now think carefully. Are you going to take your own life, or do you want me to shoot you?" David says nothing. As they continue moving forward, they spot a house in the forest with lights on inside. So they approach the house. Just then, a man named Norton comes out with a gun. They ask Norton for help, and he tells them to place their weapons inside a box nearby. After that, Norton lets them into the house, offering them shelter and food. He then gives them all drinks. Everyone begins to drink, except for David, who excuses himself to go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, Norton says, "This pandemic is nature's way of cleansing the weak. So that in the new era, only the strong will remain in this world." The others don't quite understand what he's talking about. Suddenly, they all begin to lose consciousness. Norton had drugged their drinks. On the other hand, we see that David is beginning to show signs of zombification. A while later, he comes out and attacks Norton. Norton, however, uses a sonic device on his wrist and points it at David. The device emits a frequency that prevents David from getting close. In fact, Norton is an engineer, and he has created a sonic device that emits frequencies which allow him to control zombies. A while later, the others regain consciousness and realize they're tied up. Norton says, "Don't you want to meet my wife?" As he switches on a light in the corner. There, inside a cage, is Norton's wife. She has been infected and turned into a zombie. Norton has been drugging people who come seeking help and feeding them to his zombie wife. He then unleashes his wife on them. But somehow, Cassius manages to free himself and saves Megan from being attacked. The 4 of them then escape using Norton's vehicle. As they continue through the forest, they see hundreds of zombies approaching to attack. They are close to the colony now, but fallen trees block the road. So they can no longer continue by vehicle. They get out and proceed on foot. But avoiding the zombies while walking is nearly impossible. David, realizing he is infected, says, "I'll stay here. You go on to the colony." At first, Megan refuses to leave him behind. But with no other choice, and for the sake of their unborn child, she goes ahead with Abigail and Cassius. David stays behind and fights off the zombie horde alone. But after a while, the alpha zombie arrives and kills David by snapping his neck. Meanwhile, Abigail, Cassius, and Megan reach a colony called King Harbor. Abigail desperately calls for help. Seeing this, the colony guards shoot and kill the pursuing zombies. Although a few, including the alpha, manage to escape. The 3 of them are now inside the colony. It is actually constructed around the remains of a dam project near a lake, surrounded by ships and structures. Megan begins to experience labor pains, and a woman from the colony takes care of her. The next day, we see Norton approaching the colony. He still wants to use his control over zombies to eliminate the weak. Meanwhile, Megan gives birth to a baby girl. But unfortunately, she passes away sometime after childbirth. Now Cassius takes responsibility for caring for her daughter. In the meantime, Abigail forms a friendship with a boy named Roderick. Roderick shows Abigail the booby traps with explosives that are placed throughout the colony and a secret tunnel that leads outside. So that if zombies ever breach the colony, they can blow the explosives and escape through the tunnel. Elsewhere, we see that Norton manages to lead the zombies into the colony by controlling them. The zombies begin attacking the people inside the colony in a chaotic frenzy. Some people scream and run for their lives while others try to shoot at the zombies. Cassius and Abigail start evacuating people through the secret tunnel. During this, Norton appears and attacks Cassius. In the struggle, Cassius breaks the sonic device on Norton's arm, causing the zombies to turn on Norton and viciously tear him apart. Meanwhile, we see the alpha zombie attacking Abigail. In that moment, Abigail notices a bracelet on the zombie's wrist that says Abigail. She realizes that the zombie is none other than her own father, as she had gifted him that bracelet herself. Just then, Cassius arrives and pulls Abigail into the tunnel, escaping the colony. At the same time, Roderick triggers the explosive blast, destroying the colony along with the zombies inside. However, the alpha zombie still isn't dead. He attacks the remaining survivors. A fierce battle begins between Cassius and the alpha zombie. Just as the alpha zombie is about to bite Cassius, Abigail doesn't hesitate. She shoots and kills the alpha zombie, who was once her father. After that, we see that, according to Cassius and Abigail's plan, all the survivors head toward the safe island, which is going to be their new home. And with that, the film ends.